One of the most difficult days was a Sunday in the early 90s when I got a call saying that the Israeli press had a story that the head of procurement for the Israeli Air Force, a general, a former fighter pilot hero general, and our foreign sales manager in Israel had a joint bank account in Switzerland with about $8 million in it, which suggested there was some embezzlement and fraud going on. And it turned into a very large scandal. So that day when I got the phone call on a Sunday, I knew that we were in for a long journey as we tried to investigate, discipline, change the processes and systems, and then go to the government and work out what turned out to be, because it was a very serious case, both a civil resolution with the SEC and a criminal resolution with the Justice Department. As leaders, our job is not to deny the facts. Our job is to follow the facts. So the first thing, of course, we did was create both an inside and outside investigative team. And when we got into it, we discovered that certain people in the company had done bad things. And rather than putting our head in the sand, we had to confront those directly and deal with them. And I'd like to think that we did. We first had to investigate and we had to work things out with the government. But once that happened, we made this sort of a showcase in the company about candor about how things can go wrong and what the consequences were. And let me give you two ways in which that happened. It's a good question, because the communication of these things is often as important as the resolution of them. One way we communicated when it was all over was that Jack Welch at the time asked me to present this case at the annual meeting of the senior managers of the company. And I have spoken to groups many times in my life. I've never been in front of a group that was as quiet as this, because what happened was the senior manager in the military engines business was fired. And so the senior managers were tremendously attentive to what I was saying. So that's one way of communicating, explaining what happened, how we fixed it, what went wrong to the senior managers. A different way we did it was that we developed a training film that was shown to every single employee when they started. We are fortunate in that part of GE is NBC. So we had a NBC crew do a short video on integrity with Ann Curry, who was then I think still is the newsreader on the Today Show, presented very high production values, and we began with this Israeli case explaining what went wrong. And what I thought was good about the film, which I obviously had a lot to do with, was we didn't dwell on our virtues, we dwelt on our problems. And that created a sense among the employees that we were serious about this, that we were candid, that we were talking about things that had gone wrong, that were ugly, that were messy. And so that training film, which actually won some awards, was remarkably effective in dealing with this situation and talking about it candidly.